So welcome everyone. Tonight I have a very special guest that I want to introduce to you today. This is one of my clients, Eric, and we've been working together for about 9 months now, I think, Eric. And he's been working with me with Metabolic Balance, my #1 program for weight loss and overall health and wellness. And he's here tonight to share his story, what he's experienced so far. And thank you, Eric, so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate the time that you're taking. I know that you have a very busy schedule, and I do appreciate you offering to do this for us tonight. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background? Like, why did you choose to come and work with me and use the Metabolic Balance program?
Yeah, I think, thank you very much for having me first and foremost, Melanie. It's an honor and pleasure to be here and talk about my story. I think, throughout my whole life, I've done a lot of different diets or ways of life or nutrition plans and those types of things. And I think really what intrigued me about Metabolic Balance was the science. And when you think of someone actually taking your blood and dissecting your blood and based on your blood type, the hours that you sleep, really a science to it. And we really know that in health and wellness and nutrition, they say it's 75-25 or the 80-20. It's 80% what you put in and the other 20% is the exercise or how much you sleep and so on and so forth, really. And I think that's what intrigued me the most was really the science behind it. I've done almost any diet you could ever think of, from boiled fish and boiled sweet potatoes and plain lettuce to high carb with high proteins. I've done keto. I've done, trust me, if you think of it, I've probably done it. A vegan I've done. And the one thing that I would say, I really did enjoy keto, but that's not sustainable. And I think, Melanie, you were very clear on that when we first met, that it's great that you lost all that weight, but for a long-term success, it's not sustainable. And of course, everybody has their doubts about a diet, right? So here's this lady trying to sell me something, with all due respect. Yep. Does it really work? And I will tell you that I'm not really a normal human being. I work a lot, over almost 100 hours a week, most times, 80 plus for sure. And I have never in my life had this type of energy. And I thought that I was let's just say a freak before, but I would crash, right? I could go like that for a month and a half, and then there would be 2 or 3 days where I would just completely not feel well. I have not had a crash in 9 months. And really the way that you feel every day on this way of living and this way of eating in this life is really what's revolutionary. So that's what really made me come to answer your real question. Was it's really how it's a science-based, meal plan, diet, and sometimes you get to that point is you've tried everything, so why not? I think it's one of those things where if you're out there and you're just thinking about this, I really recommend that you try.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you noticed, like when you first started, aside from the energy component, is there anything else that you noticed when you first started?
Yeah, 100%. I just didn't want to go on a tangent because I know you have more questions. So if I answer some of the questions you have planned, I apologize for the informalities. But one thing for me especially was the immediate rapid weight loss, like within the first 30 days. That was, to me, mind-blowing. I used to have to do 2-a-day cardios plus a weight lift workout for 3 months sometimes to hit those numbers that I hit in the first, let's say, 45 days. The first 30 for sure was just incredible. But I would definitely say that was, for me, was really remarkable, and with no exercise, as I mentioned. And not that I'm promoting not exercising, because that's now kind of the new thing that, we're really focusing on. And I see an even bigger significant difference now having implemented exercise. But that was what was very remarkable for me was, and I think would be very powerful for those of you out there that are just thinking about doing this type of way of living is, if exercise isn't really your thing entirely, this is a diet where you can definitely start and get yourself into a position of health and wellness and not have to torture yourself at the gym or, make yourself feel embarrassed maybe in the environment of fitness. or, even running. This is a way to really reset your body, reset your metabolism, get your metabolic balance back to where it naturally really should belong, scientifically, physiologically. And that was the biggest thing for me, Melanie, was to, people was like, you lost 45 pounds and you didn't work out once. No, I work out now, of course, but no, when I hit those specific numbers, or you tell people how much you lose in the first 45 days, it just, nobody believes it. And seeing is believing. Numbers don't lie. The scale doesn't lie. The body composition test that you do is also very eye-opening. We could definitely see that I don't sleep enough. But we noticed even I was now working more.
Yeah.
And my body composition was outperforming anything that every time we met, it was just better and better and better and better. And I'm just pushing even more. So I think, again, that for me was, and again, not exercise at definitely in the first little while. So that just goes to prove that 75-25 or 80-20, whichever metrics you like to use, is what you put into your body. It's fuel, it's energy, it is, you are what you eat, kind of, as they say. So yeah.
I love, you are just hitting every nail on the head, because we've had so many conversations around all of this and you presented so well. What about challenges? Like, what sort of things did you find challenging in it, and how did you get past those challenges?
For sure. So we'll start with cutting out pre-workout drinks. So that was my morning routine, to get up at 4:30, and I would, smash a pre-workout just to get that extra energy. Gum. Anybody that knows me, I will go to Costco before any vacation and get a case of gum, and I will be gone that case. I haven't chewed gum in 9 months, and I used to chew easily a pack a day. So that was definitely a challenge for me, was cutting out the gum. Because I did keto, kind of lessening my carbs wasn't that challenging. The first 3 weeks, I'll tell you, everyone out there listening today, the first 3 weeks, the first week you hate it. The first 2 days you hate it, you want to quit. But I think that once you pass that realistically, the first 3 weeks, I don't want to tell you that it's going to take you 1 week or 2 weeks to feel like you're in it and you're a metabolic balance, fan. It's until once you see that first 10, 15 start to go and you start to feel that energy, that's when you start to say, this really works. I get it. I feel better. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. And do not give up. Do not get into the right and the left shoulder arguing with each other. Just have a peace. Or my friends, when Melanie tells you those first 3 to 4, and I had to go longer actually, without a treat meal, which really upset me. But, I pushed through and I said, okay, I believe you. Fine, I'll do it. And pack a meal, right? Just learn to say no, I think, is the simplest advice I can give anybody out there, is just, you have to learn to say no, and you have to be stronger and know that it's not, that first 3 to 4 weeks isn't forever, right? Nor is the rest of it either, of only one treat meal a week until you get into maintenance phase, right? That's not forever. This is a reset. This is a new way of life. You are resetting yourself, and you just have to do that commitment in the beginning for the long-term gain. And that was the hardest. The no oils, and I would say also, I'm very fortunate, my girlfriend really supported the cooking. My dad's a chef, so portioning and helping and cooking was for us in the interim, in the beginning, very easy. But I would say what definitely helped me take it to the next level, and I'm not trying to plug Macro Foods, but they're doing custom meal plans for me where I pick them up every Sunday, and I have everything for my 12 meals. I have 2 treat meals a week now because I'm in maintenance. So I do 12. I do all my own breakfasts. Breakfasts are super easy, guys. Like, breakfast is very easy to make. There's a lot of great options for you. But I would suggest, if you find that you don't like cooking, or you think that's time consuming, or that's a mental constraint to you wanting to commit or make excuses, I didn't prep, I didn't have time, I didn't this, fine. I like Macro because they do the custom. You pay a little bit more, but send them the list that you get from Metabolic Balance. And I will tell you that to be able to go in the fridge, put that in the microwave, the quality of the food is absolutely amazing. And that's what also has helped me sustain this maintenance phase. No questions asked. I mean, Mel, we've already 2-3 months in this maintenance and everything has just been perfect. So
Yeah,
that's
I think
one
it's
thing.
actually longer for you. I think it's
Is it?
actually
Yeah.
been longer that you've been in maintenance, looking back on my records. And I guess that's one of my questions for you. You were touching on your treat meals as well. Like, did you find your treat meals satisfying? Like, how are you managing that?
Yeah, like I'm a little different probably than the average person because I love food. I like to eat. And that was also like remarkable too, as the difference between like, so this diet, other diets I've done, and not just keto, but definitely I'll just touch on keto because I know there's a lot of keto people out there. When you cheat on keto, you feel like crap for 2 or 3 days. And you don't just gain like 2 or 3 pounds, you gain like 7 or 10. And it takes you months sometimes to lose that in keto, where with this diet, like I'll just give people an example. I can eat a whole small pizza, 20 chicken wings, ice cream, cookie. And by the following Friday or Saturday, I'll lose 2 pounds or be the same, but never week to week to week. There's never unless you fall off for 3 full days. But I mean, I've done, I'm happy to say it, I'm in maintenance, so it doesn't matter. I've done 3 treat meals in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And by the following Saturday, back to 0, right where I was that Saturday or Friday morning, whatever it was. I mean,
and I have to commend you on that, because that honestly, Eric, has a lot to do with your commitment, right? Because you go back to the plan. We know that you have your treat meals, but you definitely go back to the 8 simple rules and the portioning and the timing of your meals. And so that has a lot to do with your hard work, because you're doing what needs to be done the 80% of the time for sure.
Yeah. And just to touch on that as well, the timing. So I was of my entire life of dieting and fitness, and I'll be honest with everybody out there, please take this with a grain of salt. I've struggled with my weight my whole life. I've been an athlete and I've had a 6-pack, and I've been 258 pounds like the day we met after COVID. I let COVID get the best of me. That's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Now I sit at 203 to 205. The goal is 195 was where I'd like to be, but there's a lot of you out there that have struggled with that. And I come from you have to eat every few hours to speed up your metabolism, which actually is completely not true scientifically. This every 5 hours. And I will also tell you that, like I said, I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I work till 8, 9, sometimes even later. And I only do 3 meals a day. Unless I work out, I'm allowed to have an extra protein shake. So definitely, if you're only, active in this and that, those 3 meals a day, if it can fuel me for that long, you will do more than fine. You'll hate it at first. You'll want to snack. You'll see other people snacking, and you can get to a point later on a treat day, you can have a snack or a weekend or those kind of things. But to get yourself to where you need to be, after those 3 weeks, you'll see that every 5 hours, you look forward to it, and you'll be hungry. That was a challenge too. After 2.5, 3 hours in the first reset, you're like, oh my God, I'm starving. Right?
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing that I'm sure we've had conversations over in the beginning was, it's natural for us to feel hunger. And when you're on that path for so many years of eating every 2 to 3 hours, you're not even allowing yourself to get to that state of hunger, which of course has consequences as far as what happens with your hormones and your metabolism. So what would you say, you've been following the 8 simple rules, right? Like eating 3 meals a day, keeping them 5 to 7 hours apart, taking 2 bites of protein before every meal, making sure you have 3 different proteins a day, because I know when we met, you were on this like kick of like chicken and broccoli or eggs and right, like back in the day. Yeah. So what would you say is probably the biggest secret to long-term success? Is there something that you have found to be the biggest thing? Water. Because you definitely have been maintaining, but I think you mentioned you've lost more since we last chatted. So you've been at least maintaining and more for at least 5 months, according to my records. So water's a big thing for you?
Water's huge. And I think like it's funny, really want to lose weight, drink even more water than recommended. And especially after treat meal, you know, times. You definitely, like, there sometimes, you know, I'll gain 4 pounds, like off a treat meal, but then within 2 days, and excessive water gone, you know,
Yeah.
and don't, sorry, that the biggest, some of the biggest secrets for me is the water. And also, don't weigh yourself every single day. You have to in the beginning for the first, I think it was 3 weeks every day. But when you pass that and you're getting into maintenance, and just do it once a week, or else you will literally drive yourself. I did it the other day. I don't know, I think it was Thursday. I was 4 pounds heavier than on Friday. I just drink a ton of water. The next day it's 4 pounds. So just do it once a week or bi-weekly, really and truly, or else you will drive yourself. And then you'll start to mental game. Well, what am I doing all this for? You know?
Yeah.
So
Very good advice. Yeah. So if someone's sitting on the fence, if someone's, you know, been thinking about doing metabolic balance, what would you say to them would be the one reason to kind of jump in, you know, get off that fence and get going with it?
Well, it's very simple. What you're doing right now isn't working. And, you know, you've never tried it, you know, so don't knock it till you try it. That's another one. But really, if you're on the fence, I will tell you, I've literally probably done anything that you've ever done. And it's not sustainable. And when even you look at professional bodybuilding, you understand that's a full-time job to work out twice a day, to, you know, those guys, they still measure, they do all those things, but that's a full-time job. That's a lifestyle, right? Where this type of eating is sustainable long-term, and it's really customized to you and your body. And when you look at a lot of other meal plans or meal, it's very generic. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does. I've done it. But I've been in, like I said, places where I've been 185, 192 pounds, and then just start going back up, right? And then you got to go back to the gym and do double cardio and do this and do that, drive yourself crazy. So again, I'm not advocating no exercise, because I think it's super important to your overall energy, health, well-being, your vitals, all those things that Melanie will talk to you about. But I'm here out of the goodness of my heart, so that should tell you enough. This is not a paid advertisement. This is just, and I tell everybody about this. My girlfriend, who nonstop since I've known her, complains, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. And she went on Metabolic Balance and right away was like, I'm sleeping better, I feel better. And now she's back working in Toronto a little bit, so she's working later nights, not following, and I'm tired, right? So this is, it's everybody that I've talked to about this and that's done it. A friend of mine in California, unfortunately, Mel wasn't his coach, but he's out there and he's, you know, already lost like 10 pounds in the first 2 weeks, and he couldn't believe it, but I was explaining it to him. And guys, science doesn't lie. There is a science to your body, right? That's what you have to understand. This isn't a generic program. This is not generic. It's custom tailored to you. That's if you're on the fence, it's you versus you. That's my famous line in any lecture that I have. You are going to be the one that decides the best version of yourself. You have to look in the mirror. You have to be accountable to you, and you have to make that decision of how you want to look, how you want to feel, how you want to be. And I will tell you that the amount of, I actually personally couldn't believe how inexpensive it was for the amount of personal one-on-one time that you get with Melanie. Being in the, you know, I'm a denturist. I deal with clients all day. I know what people's time is worth per hour. I think Melanie's undervalued what she brings to the table. And if you are out there and you're questioning this, seriously, do it just for the knowledge and just even the vitals and getting the testing of your blood and understanding where you lie. I had a lot of bacteria and there was some things going on, and there's some of that from keto. There's some of it from, you know, always going like this. Fruit. I haven't eaten fruit in how long? 2 years. I was keto for almost 2 years.
That's right. You were really hesitant to even add the fruit back in.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are things like, and I questioned it. No, I can't have potatoes. I can't, you know, and that's where I feel, and I'm here today to tell you this because this is my story. This is my experience. And I know from what I do with people on a daily basis where they have to have teeth pulled out and prosthetic teeth put in. And it's a very fearful thing. And a diet's very much the same. And I'm here to share with you my story. And if you're looking in the mirror and you're not happy, or you're tired, or you're questioning whether it's real, what are you waiting for? You have to do this for yourself. Because I can tell you right now, maybe in 5 years that might change, but I don't see myself changing this way of living, of dieting, of eating. You know, I finally found something that I feel is a way of life. And maybe once I get to really where I want to be, maybe it's 3 treat meals a week, or maybe it's a little bit more and it's more exercise. But to feel the way that I feel, and to know that this is what's best for me, this is, if you're out there, seriously, just do it. I don't know what you're waiting for. You have to do it.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate, you have been mentioning to me for quite some time that you would be willing to give this testimonial. You've been actually offering it up to me. I really appreciate it because you are speaking from your experience and it's genuine. And you speak from such a higher level of experience based on your past, what you've done, and you really have a better understanding of the whole chemistry and biochemical side, which is really nice as well. So I do really want to thank you, Eric. It means so much to me that you are finding this to be the thing that has made such a difference for you and that you can see yourself using it long term. One thing I just want to point out for those who are watching, you mentioned about blood work and the bacteria. That was a different test. It is separate from metabolic balance, but it is something else that I offer. So I just wanted to clarify that. But definitely, Eric, I am so blessed and so fortunate to have you as a client. You've been such a joy to work with. You know, we had really sometimes some deep kind of conversations trying to manage through because there's a lot of past habits and past patterns that you were in, that you were so open to trust, and you would do things even, you know, after conversations you would say, okay, I'm going to try this and then we'll see. And I appreciate that. So thank you for making my job so easy. And I am so happy that you have achieved all those results so far. And I look forward to you getting to your 195. You still aiming for that?
The goal. And just back to the
there.
comment, you have to trust. You do have to trust Melanie. She's the professional. It's her job. And trust me, there was many times where I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll do it for you, but it ain't going to work.
I think you actually did say that to me a couple times.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Sure. But you have to trust it. But you also have to be honest and accountable yourself. And there's been times where I haven't been either. And be honest with Mel. Don't lie. Because if you're open with Melanie and you say, listen, I'm busy or this has happened, I cheated. Right? Just be honest. This is communication, right? It's important in government, relationship, business. Everything is communication. And just be honest. Say, I haven't lost any weight, or I fell off the wagon on the weekend. Mel, so you know what then? Let's dial this down a little bit. Let's adjust this. Let's adjust that. It's all also science. So that's another small piece of advice. Just be open and honest because you do not do this for a living. Okay? No one can be 100% on this. I'm sorry to tell you, all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I'm a very committed person to dieting. I've done it all. You cannot be 100. As long as you can be 75, 80, 20 and be honest and open with your coach, that's going to give you the success.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eric. Once again,
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you very soon in the office for that body composition. All right. Thanks, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, you bet.